Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome. Something that I've really been noticing in the last few months is people aren't feeling themselves. And the reason I believe that to be true is there's been a lot of stress and anxiety over the last year with this pandemic. And that's also induced what I would believe to be is shock in the body. And people think shock has to be this really big, intense event, such as a car accident. And it doesn't have to be. From a Chinese medicine standpoint, shock can be a lot more subtle than that, where it can knock you off balance, almost like knock you off your center. And then it creates these blocks. And these blocks will keep you from that normal rhythm of energy in your internal system. And this is where people start to not feel like themselves. And I mean, to be honest, I have felt like this too over the last few months, where I've gone through phases where it's just you're kind of feeling blah, you feel like you've hit a wall. And this shock, so fear and anxiety over time, it will affect the kidney energy. And then over time too, you will start to feel even like maybe some depression and even just not feeling motivation whatsoever. So what I want to do is provide some tips and ways we can start to feel better right now and not have to wait on any external circumstances to change. Instead of focusing and wanting to control the pandemic and just wishing it would get better, there's things we can do to start feeling better now and start feeling more and more like yourself. So I'd say my first tip would be, have you ever really paid attention to what thoughts or beliefs go through your mind every single day? Do you notice that maybe a certain event happened first thing in the morning, and then at the end of the day you've just been like, wow, I've been kind of crabby all day, or I've been feeling angry all day, and you don't even realize it? And it's because you've been holding on to a certain belief or thought and you're attached to it. And I want to start to reframe our minds. People are really attached to fear and anxiety. And what I want is to be more aware of it. And once you're aware of it, to just stop, take 3 deep breaths. The reason why I say take 3 deep breaths is because I think a lot of people too are holding their breaths and maybe not even noticing it. When you hold your breath, that induces more anxiety. When you're not breathing deeply, you're kind of constricting and your muscles are getting tighter and that blood flow is reduced. So by deep breathing, I think you could even start to feel better then. And I want to get off this frame of mind where there's probably a negative loop going on in your mind. Let's refocus that thought and replace that with something you're grateful for. So if you notice that first thing in the morning, maybe you get on this negative thought train where you're just like, this pandemic's never going to end. I'm never going to feel better. So stop, take 3 deep breaths, and then reframe that with something you're grateful for. I want you to kind of shift your focus, because believe it or not, what you focus on grows. So think of something you're grateful for. And I don't want you to just be like, oh, I'm grateful for water. Something you are really grateful for. Is it for your kids? Is it that you still have your job? Your spouse still has his job? And when you think about it, I also want you to feel it in your body as well too. I want you to kind of just feel it and sit with it and feel a shift in your body. Do you feel more peace? Do you feel more calm? Those are kind of some things we're looking for. Because make no mistake, guys, there is no disconnect between your brain, your mind, and your body. It's all interconnected. So what you're thinking, you're believing, the patterns that are going on in your mind, that starts to affect you physically. So take the deep breaths, focus something you're grateful for, and try and feel a bit of a shift. There is no right or wrong way to do this. The main thing is just to start practicing this every single day. This is a skill, so get familiar with it and constantly try it, even like a few times a day. Do it every day. Practice this. and you will start to feel more of that sense of that calm, maybe more of a bit of a flow or even an ease in your day. Or maybe you're noticing that something that might have set you off previously just doesn't really seem to bother you anymore. So I would say this is something to practice on every day. This is a skill. Tip number 2 is to exercise. Get some more of those feel-good hormones happening. I will get off center and then I'll stop exercising, and then it turns into I'll stop eating well, and then I'll start to feel even crappier mentally as well too. So once I just do something simple, even going for a walk, getting back into my fitness routine, then I start to feel even better mentally, and then I start to make better choices. So I find exercise to be phenomenal for myself to get feeling better, and pick whatever it is that you enjoy. If it's a sport, do that. If it's walking, do that. Yoga, do that. Weightlifting, go ahead and do that. Just keep that energy and that natural rhythm flowing. And sometimes when you feel stuck, even just exercising can really help move some of that energy. So tip number 3, when I was talking about shock and how it affects the body and how it can be a lot more subtle, as it affects the kidney energy as well too, acupuncture is really good for releasing some of those subtle blocks and getting your body more on center. So of course, I'm always going to say try acupuncture. It's not the be all end all. It's definitely a really great tool though to really help your body start to feel better, and for you to feel better mentally as well too. I have been treating stress and anxiety frequently over the last few months, so I'm certainly no stranger to this. I've had really great success with it. So I'd say at the very least, try it out and see what it can do for you as well too. I am an open book. I'll always be honest with you. So anytime you have questions, please come forward. Never be afraid to ask questions. I'll always be here. Until then, take care, you guys.